All right, what is up tonight? Here we are, another Quaranstream. So, what is up, everyone? How we doing? Good. Hey, what's up? How you guys doing tonight? I see you're back. All right. Hello, hello. Good to see all you here. Johan, good to see you. Yeah. What are we up to on day? I don't know. In Ohio, it's like day. It's been a week now in Ohio since we've been, on our stay-at-home order. So, I mean, I was doing that before then anyway, because it's a smart thing to do. But I'm doing these too often, and yet you're still here. I'm doing them too often, but yet you're still here. Look at that. Uh, I don't even know what number that is, man. I don't even know. Yeah, I think a lot of people like that. I'm doing these frequently. I mean, what else is there to do? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more exciting things you guys could be doing with your time. Maybe, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what you guys do, but uh 2 weeks in Illinois. Oh man. What's up, coaster nerds? Hey, I'm pretty good. Yeah. How you doing tonight? On 2 weeks in Connecticut? Oh wow. Okay. I'm glad you guys like the regular streams. They're just a fun way to pass some of this time, I feel like. I don't know. Um Hey, coaster nerd. I am good. How are you? I'm pretty good. I'm just doing the usual. I'm working on more videos. I'll have more stuff coming out very soon. Yeah, working on videos. I folded some laundry, made dinner real quick. That's basically all I've done today. So, um drinking coffee. So, Banshee's great. You did what too? Because I named off a bunch of things. Ohio schools are canceled through April, as you probably know. Yeah, I heard that until like May 1st. Yeah, I heard that. Crazy. Hey, Insane Coaster Junkie, just got done listening to Metallica's concert stream. Might listen to Shogun by Trivium again. All right. I just looked at your story just a few minutes ago, actually, and I seen that you were listening to that. One of the best albums of all time. You gotta love Shogun. It's fantastic. So horns up. Yes. Yep. I got my coffee for sure. Uh, uh, Yeah, right now I'm just drinking some cheap Aldi's coffee I got. I mean, it's pretty good, it's all right. For 3.99, it's really cheap, but it's pretty decent quality coffee. So, it's not fantastic, but it's decent. Oh, we got some new people in here it looks like. Good to see you. New person. I see one new person at least. Yeah. All of them, you've done all of them. Nice. Oh yeah, I love Aldi's. That's the only place I do my grocery shopping is Aldi's. I love Aldi's. Yeah, their products are great. Super cheap, great products. So, yeah. Do I have a job outside of YouTube? And if so, what? Yeah, I've talked about this a little bit before in different like streams or maybe even a video or something. I work with developmentally disabled adults. So, yeah, I mean, YouTube I do not make money off of YouTube. I mean, I do. I'm monetized, but it's change. It's just like it's spare change. I mean, And I've always done this for the love of it and not to make money. That was never my goal. So, the money is nice because it'll come in handy to like help cover some of the costs of like going to parks and stuff. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. It's awesome. So, have I heard of the new Jurassic Park roller coaster? Yes. It looks awesome. Yep, polar coaster. Oh yeah, Shogun is a fantastic song. I agree. It's definitely one of their best songs. I'm glad I got you into the album. Good, good. Good to see. Well, Shogun, the song, I actually saw them play that live when I saw them in it was 2000. I'm trying to think if it was 2013 or 2018 when I saw them that they played it live. Probably 2018. But yeah, I definitely seen them play that song live, which was great. No, I think it was 2014. Yeah. Um, thank you for you say congrats on 2000. Thank you. I know. It does feel like I was just, at like nothing, and it did take me about 5 months or so to get to about the 200 mark. Um, And I was very grateful for that, too. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. My favorite movie. That's a really good question because I'm not a person that sits down and watches a lot of stuff, especially now. So I don't really know what my favorite movie is. I can tell you some of my favorites. I like a lot of Christmas movies like National Lampoon and It's a Wonderful Life. And I like a lot of the Batman movies. I love The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is like the best Batman movie. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess The Dark Knight. I'll go with The Dark Knight because I don't know what else to say. So, um, been only been to 2 concerts. Okay. I've been to quite a few. I haven't gone to as many as I used to. I used to go to them like all the time, like small local concerts, heavy metal concerts. It's great. Seen lots of great shows. I've had some awesome times, but Um, oh, Insane Coaster Junkie. Good to see that. You've been addicted to soil work and In Flames. Thanks for your suggestions. Definitely have a new favorite side of metal. All right. I'm glad that you're enjoying those suggestions. Good to see. So, what are some of your favorite songs or favorite albums or anything like that by those bands? And is there any other new bands besides those that you've listened to, whether you like them or not? Let me know. You are one of my favorite humans. Thanks, I guess. Thanks. Got 200 subs earlier this year. My channel's been around for 3 years. Okay, nice, nice. A lot of people never get to 200, so that's good. If we're talking concerts, I was going to try to go to my second concert this summer. Both would have been Bon Jovi. Okay. Bon Jovi, nice, nice. Sure, that'd be a good concert. I like Bon Jovi's older music. I'm not so much of a fan of the stuff from like the past like 12 years or so, but I do like some of Bon Jovi's stuff. So Dark Knight is my favorite. I love Heath Ledger. Yeah, Heath Ledger is an awesome Joker for sure. I still got to see the Joker movie actually. That looks really good. Looks really messed up too. I've heard it's really screwed up, but I really want to see it. You'll get there, coaster nerds. Just keep grinding at it. Took me a long time too. Took me a really long time to even get to 20 subscribers. I mean, I didn't even have 20 subscribers. It took me like 3 months or something like that to probably even longer than that to get to like 20 subscribers. So just keep grinding at it, It's all about having fun. That's what I always did it for. So Yeah, I know Dark Knight's the theme for those uh generic Wild Mouse coasters. Mm, the big new ride that Great Adventure got in 2008. I mean, they look all right, I guess. Um, your Max Thrill's favorite movie, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Nice. I like that choice. I like that. That's something I can get down with. That's awesome. Um, Coaster Nerd says, I'm going to do that top 10 you told me to do in a week. What top 10 again? What top 10 did I tell you to do? Refresh my memory. Ooh, CT Coaster saw Rush in concert. Nice. Nice. I've seen Iron Maiden. Yep. Probably the coolest band that I've seen, I would say. Like the coolest one to say that I've actually seen live. Probably Iron Maiden. So, um, yes, Joker. Okay, Joker is amazing. Good, because I still got to watch it. Quarantine Coaster Party. Oh yeah, we know how to party in here. Uh okay. So he has some solid songs in more recent years. Okay. I'm not gonna check him out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna listen to him, but I'll take your word for it. I like some of his songs from his 2007 album, from Bon Jovi's 2007 album. Like "Wanna Make a Memory," that cheesy, sappy, yeah. Okay, Insane Coaster Junkies favorite Soilwork songs: Helsinki, Bleeder to Spoiler, and Stalfagel. And his favorite In Flame songs: Only for the Weak, I Am Above. Also been heavily into Trivium. All right, good to hear. Nice. Um, I'm not gonna lie, those aren't none of those Soilwork songs are like some of my absolute favorite Soilwork songs. And I really like Only for the Weak. But yeah, I mean they're all great songs because those bands are awesome. Like they're all great regardless. So I wasn't a huge fan of Soilwork's last album that came out last year. Um, and I was pretty disappointed because the last two they released before that are like their two best albums in my opinion. So I had pretty high expectations for the one that came out last year, but it was just kind of like it was solid, but it didn't like it's not as infectious as all of Soilwork's other material is. And they've had a lot of different sounds over the years. It's not because they changed their sound or anything, but still a great album for sure. And Stalfogel is one of the best songs on that album. I love Stalfogel. So, um, got 200 subs. Nice. Good job, Max Thrills. Good job. Did I ever think I would have this many subs? I mean, I knew it was attainable, so I wouldn't say that thought I never would, but it's still pretty surprising to be here, because my channel's only been around for like a year and a half. So, I'm very pleasantly surprised and very grateful for all the support, obviously. So, thank you guys for that. Uh what about Cannibal Corpse? What you say, is it cuz Cannibal Corpse? What do you mean? Oh, top 10 coasters. Okay. Hey, Cedar Flags. Is that the Cedar Flags in here? Don't tell me that's the Cedar Flags. Is that the Cedar Flags that I'm thinking of? Let's see. That's a different profile picture. Is that the Cedar Flag? Oh, it is. What's up, Cedar Flags? Good to see you in here. When are you going to do another video? I love your videos, and I haven't seen one in a while. I mean, I've seen you've done like the No Limits ones, but but yeah, Cedar Flags, what I've been up to, I've just been working on tons of videos, have more new stuff coming out soon. I've been doing lots of these live streams, as you might have noticed. And just doing stuff around the house. I folded some laundry, made dinner, just the stuff I've been doing for weeks now. So I've been off work because of the whole thing. So I've had a lot of free time. So I've been working on a lot of videos. My favorite food, that's way too hard to answer. I'm a fat boy. I love my food. So Coaster Nerd says I don't know more than 5 of his songs from 2000 and up. Only only have 21 in my Bon Jovi playlist. I know a few more than that, but less than I like to admit. Okay. Like Post Malone, he's pretty good. He's pretty good, yeah. Imagine Dragons, not a fan. I'll just leave it at that. There, some of their stuff's okay. Um, of course I know the Reverse Flying V. It's legendary. Um, hey, no problem, Cedar Flags. Thank you for all your wonderful videos. So, haha, Rick Astley. All right, you've been Rickrolled. Don't be Rickrolling us now. You enjoyed Verkleiten a lot? Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a really solid album. I mean, Soilwork has not done anything remotely bad in my opinion. So, some people point to their 2007 album, Sworn to a Great Divide, as being a weak point. I've always loved that album too, even though I think it's like their second worst probably. I still enjoy it. So, um yeah, Sin in the Sentence. Holy crap. And What the Dead Men Say is, oh, I am so hyped for that new album. It's unbelievable. 30 Seconds to Mars? What about 30 Seconds to Mars? I mean, they have some really good songs. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. CT Coasters. My favorite band used to be Chemical Romance. It was in like 7th, 8th grade. I still love them. They're awesome. So glad they're playing shows again. It's cool to see. So most strings on a bass that I've seen. Yeah, I've seen a bass with like 24 strings on it. So yeah. Yeah, Cannibal Corpse was an Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Yes, they were. Yeah, it's the Cedar Flags. That's right. He is in my live chat right now. So, oh, Insane Coaster Junkie. You met Cedar Flags. Nice. You don't like pop music? I do enjoy pop music actually. I love pop music. Some pop music. I mean, I don't like all of it, but I have a lot of things I listen to that people would probably consider guilty pleasures. I don't really believe in guilty pleasures. I just enjoy whatever I enjoy. So I love pop music though. I mean, yeah, there is some cringy pop music for sure. I mean, it's gonna happen, but oh, you just had a video come out this week and another one coming out soon. Holy crap. I gotta check this out. Cedar Flags, everybody, has a new video. Let's see. Um, what's Cedar Flag's new video? That's a pretty cool new logo, by the way. It's much more stylized. It's an actual logo. It's pretty cool. It's more of an identity compared to your other one. Oh, how will Cedar Point top Steel Vengeance? All right. All right. I will check that out like probably right after this live stream. I love your videos, so can't wait to see it. Sane Coaster Junkie says, "Will What the Dead Men Say be the best album of 2020? I think it's very possible. I absolutely think it's very possible, and obviously no bias from me." um, The Way of All Flesh by Gojira, great work. Yes, very good material there. Um, I like some rap, yeah. I mean, I like lots of different styles of music. It's not just metal, but I do enjoy some rap. I don't listen to it on a regular basis, but I do enjoy it. Um, Coaster Nerd says late 2000s and early 2010s is where it's at for pop. Um, with me, I don't see any one distinct like perfect period. I mean, I enjoy a lot of newer stuff and I like a lot of older stuff, and I don't really see um any congruity. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but basically, I don't know. If it's good, I listen to it. So, but I respect that opinion. Never met a YouTuber at a park. Huh. I've met quite a few, a decent amount of them, I should say. No, you can't have enough strings on a bass. No. Have Intamin come in, retrack, and update the launch on Volcano. Well, they can't retrack it. They have to build a whole new ride now. Was I featured in another coaster enthusiast video? Thanks for asking. I was going to bring this up. Just today, if you guys don't know, episode 3 of the Enthusiast Roundtable podcast, which is on YouTube, was dropped. It's on the channel Theme Park ERT. Make sure you go check out the channel Theme Park ERT and also watch the first 2 episodes of Enthusiast Roundtable. But I'm in the episode that was uploaded today. And in that episode, there's also Alec from OVC and Coaster Studios and Nick from Ace. So make sure you go check that out. It's we had some pretty good discussion in there. It was fun. So do go check them out and support them as well. So Coasterland is a good channel. I met him at Cedar Point, and I'm in a Cedar Point vlog. Y'all should check him out. Coasterland. Okay, I'll let's see. Coasterland. I've never heard of his channel. So Coasterland. I am not finding his channel. Where is it at? Okay, I think I found him. Maybe. Let's see. Gary says probably a T-Rex could beat Steel Vengeance. I think it very well could. I don't think we're gonna see a T-Rex for a while though. Definitely not at Cedar Point. What do I think Cedar Point will get for 2021? What do I think Cedar Point will get in 2021? Well, I was thinking that they would probably get a coaster for 2021, and they likely could still get a coaster for 2021, I think. I don't know how it's all going to work out with like the whole virus and things being pushed back. I feel like, unfortunately, the way Cedar Fair does things, and this has happened before, unfortunately, I feel like some other park that might have been getting a pretty decent addition might get held back further. So Cedar Point can get something extra next year because we're probably going to be missing out on a lot of this season, which was supposed to be their big 150th celebration. And they're probably going to want to make up for it next year in some way, I feel like. So unfortunately, I think maybe a park or two in Cedar Fair that were supposed to get good additions might be missing out because I don't know. These are just like theories I'm spinning off the top of my head. I'll say that Cedar Point's going to get a coaster for 2021. I really don't know. I think it could be a Flyer or a GCI. Um, I think those probably are the most likely options. So, no problem, Cedar Flags. Thanks for showing up to my live stream. I was not expecting to see you here. So, and you also say pop is a hit or miss. It can either be great or cringy bad. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. I do not like middling pop music. I think there's a lot of pop music that's just mediocre and nothing else, and that's like the ultimate worst when it just like drags and it's just like it doesn't really bother you, but it's like that's the worst to me. Like I think I'd rather hear something cringy over something that's just mediocre, to be honest. I design amusements. I feel like I've seen some of your videos, maybe. Hey, I've been watching all of your videos and I'm glad to see your channel thriving. You're awesome. Oh, thank you so much. It's good to hear that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Glad to see you here. Thanks for joining. And I appreciate the kind words. So, wait. What the what is that music? What the what is the music coming from? I don't know where that music I don't know where that music was coming from. Oh man. I design amusements. Okay, so you do no limit stuff? Nice. I'll have to check some of it out. Okay, Insane Coaster Junkies asking me how many YouTubers have I met at parks? The ones that come to mind for Insane Coaster Junkie, he's met Cedar Flags, Coaster Guy 101, Coaster Kids, Thrills United, and myself. Okay, so enthusiasts slash YouTubers that I've met at parks include I've met Drew from Parks Bros when he was at Cedar Point. I met Insane Coaster Junkie at Waldemere and then Cedar Point the following day. um, I met OVC. OVC, they were the very first guys I met. That was opening day at Cedar Point in 2019. So, let's see. I've also met Coaster Guy 101. Funny story about that. Coaster Guy 101, I actually met before the season even started last year and before I really started going to parks again after I got back into the community. So I guess he was the first one I met, actually. Coaster Guy 101. I didn't know about his channel, um, but I actually ran into him at a McDonald's that's really close to my house. He used to live pretty close to me at one point. Um, and I ran into him at a McDonald's. I went into McDonald's. I was wearing actually this shirt. Yeah, I was wearing this Raven shirt. He was wearing a time traveler shirt. And I'm like, "Hey, nice shirt." And then we got to talking. This was before I started my channel. Yeah, this was okay, so yeah, this was a couple years ago. This was early 2018 or no, late 2000. It was 2018 and I ran into him at a McDonald's and that's how I met him. And then obviously I seen him at Cedar Point and stuff afterwards, but yeah, pretty funny. Max Thrill says, I got copyrighted recently. Do you know which YouTubers don't copyright you if you use their footage? Okay, this is something that people need to be really careful about. I'm going to go on a little rant here, and this is just like a little bit of a, um, something I want to say for anybody that might be thinking about starting a coaster channel or any type of channel, really. But there are a couple certain coaster channels, probably the two biggest ones, like that post POVs and stuff. I'm not going to say any names, but there's two really big like POV channels that you should not use any of their footage. Do not use any of their footage because they will, if they see you using their footage, you will get burned for it. A whole channel has gotten taken down because of one of those specific channels. A really well established channel, really good channel, had like over 5,000 subs, and his whole channel was just terminated. It's completely gone now. So be really careful where you're getting your footage. But lately, there's been like this really awesome push in the community that Airtime Thrills really started, and I'm really glad to see this. And now other people are following suit. Airtime Thrills doesn't care if you use any of his footage. So you can use his, just give him credit for it. He actually has a whole separate channel called Airtime Thrills Raw Footage, which is specifically footage from places that you can use in your videos. There's also one called X Coaster that has tons of free to use POVs. There is El Toro Ryan has been making his footage non-copyright. Coaster Hipster has a lot of great non-copyright footage. Anybody else that knows of any of the other channels that are doing that, put them in the chat here. I know there's other ones. Let everybody know of any other ones doing that. And also, when you search for footage to use on YouTube, click on the filter option when at the top of the page when you search for stuff, and you can click on Creative Commons, and it'll show you the videos for your search that fall under Creative Commons, where the users that have uploaded things have allowed them to be used by other creators if you give them credit for it. So that's a good tool to use too. A lot of people don't know about that, but be really careful about the footage you're using. If you guys haven't noticed, I like to use footage as much as possible if I can find it from like official like media, like the parks media pages and YouTube and stuff like that. So like when I'm showing POVs in my videos, you'll notice that most of the time they're official POVs from the parks themselves. They put those out there for a reason. They don't like people, taking POVs and spreading them around for the most part. So you'll see that I use a lot of official POVs if they're available. If they're not, sometimes if I can't find any footage or whatever, I'll go to a park's official website and pull pictures off of their website to use in my videos. And of course, I give them credit for it and whatnot. But yeah, keep all that stuff in mind. Be careful about where you're getting your footage from. Yeah, you got to be really careful about that. So, but yeah, check out Airtime Thrills. Airtime Thrills raw footage, and from his main channel too. You can use any of that footage of his too, and just give him credit for it. And X Coasters, Coaster Hipster, and also look on for the parks like official. Go on their official YouTube channels and look for videos that you can use too as well, and just give them credit for it. So that was a long rant, but I felt like I needed to get that out. So that's something I've noticed and something I've kind of wanted to talk about. And Max Thrills brought up a good point where I could actually talk about it. Will Stanford Bridge be featured in an ERT video? I don't think he will. He doesn't do like YouTube content or anything like that. He's mysterious. Nobody knows who he actually is. Yeah, so it'd be awesome to see him though. I'd love to see him on one of those if he'd be willing to. Because Theme Park ERT is looking for more people to be featured. So Stanford Bridge, if you're in here, um, and you're willing to do it at some point and you can work it out, Theme Park ERT Enthusiast Roundtable. Love to see you on there. So um hey, Magic Coasters. Okay, Cedar Flags has met Insane Coaster Junkie, Rolly Coaster, and Coaster Studios. Oh, Rolly Coaster is great. He finally just released his last Coaster of the Year series video yesterday. It's been going on for like 2 years, and I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, great channel there. Cedar Flags says oh wait. Cedar Flags says 2000s, 2010s rock is my favorite. Nice, nice. Oh, this is the first year you bought a platinum pass. Oh, no. That's awful. I'm sorry about that. That stinks. This to be the first year. Yeah, hopefully the summer is spared a little bit. I think it might cut into the summer at least a little bit. Yeah, it's I think it very well could go into June, to be honest, at least into June. Yeah, Cedar Flags. Yeah, he had a lot of content, years worth of content, like almost 5 years worth of content, over 5,000 subs. Great channel. One of the very first, actually, the second channel that I really discovered and started to watch after Coaster Studios. Like after I got back into coasters through YouTube, I started watching videos and stuff. His was like one of the first channels I started watching. It was really unfortunate when that happened. It was back in like November. And of course, he has a new channel up now under the same name, but he doesn't post regular content on there. He's kind of made it more of just like a whenever type of thing, which I understand, you know. Yeah, definitely. Airtime Thrills has some really good free to use footage. Yeah, definitely use Airtime Thrills if possible. Great guy, great supporter of the community. He's helped a lot of people out, including myself. So, an insane coaster junkie also said, and I did see this in his description as well, and I forgot to mention it. Um, he says his channel is free to use if anyone wants to um, use any of his footage. So just give him credit for it, and it's all good. So we're all in this as a community, and I don't see the reason to like hoard all of this content and like I don't see the point. So Coaster Nerd says, "Will we be getting any official Coaster Daddy meetups at parks this summer, assuming they're open?" So, good question. Thank you for asking that. I have actually thought about doing some kind of meetup. I've never done anything like that. I think it would be cool though, just to meet some of you guys, and hopefully a few people would show up, and we could hang out for, a couple hours or whatever, and ride some awesome rides. It would be at Cedar Point if I did it, just because it's my home park. Um, if if they do open up and circumstances permit it or whatever, I would love to do some kind of meetup with you guys. I would love to meet some of my, supporters that I've been talking to online for so long. So, yeah, I will try to do that this year. So, and I'll let you guys know whenever that happens, obviously. I would have to let you know. So, my guy Coasterland had his channel taken down for using one of those big POV channels. He had 100 subs and a lot of content. He recently had to start from scratch. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I think Coaster Studios is the first one that everybody watches. It's a huge channel. He does great. He does really good content, and it's a great way to really get into that side of the coaster community. Still a great channel. So, yeah, CP Home Park Gang. So, I thought Cedar Point was your home park. So it is. Okay. All right. Yeah. I've never actually seen you at Cedar Point. Otherwise I would have tried to said hi if I would have seen you, but have to be on the lookout for this year. Maybe we can try to meet up, or just do it at my meetup or whatever when I if and when I have it. Insane Coaster Junkies planning a meetup for Waldemir's opening day. His fans have been requesting it. I seen that. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to meet up Cedar Flags. Absolutely. Or maybe we can get in touch and you could get a hold of me, I get a hold of you or whatever. That would be great. So Coaster Nerd says I go to Cedar Point all the time. Thought it would be good opportunity. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm there a lot too. When they're actually open. We got to meet up again, and you need to be part of my vlog. Okay, all right. If you guys don't know, I was actually in one of Insane Coaster Junkies videos. Well, a couple of them. One from Waldemir and one from Cedar Point. Because, like I said, I met him at Waldemir one day last year, and then the very next day he was at Cedar Point, and I seen him at Cedar Point and just happened to run into him. So CT Coasters was gonna go to Cedar Point in May. Was, yeah. I don't think May is happening at this point, to be quite honest. Uh, Cedar Flags might do some sort of meetup. All right, that sounds fun. I would try to go to that. If you did that. So you know, um, and Chaos said that his home park is Six Flags Great America. And the thing is, I almost feel worse for the coaster enthusiasts. I mean, in a way, you could say you shouldn't feel as bad for them, but in a way, I do feel worse for the coaster enthusiasts that have home parks that are typically open all year, because usually they don't have any off season and they can just ride stuff whenever they want. Now they're having to go months. So how's it feel, going months without riding coasters? So I do. I mean, I feel bad for everybody. I'm just joking, obviously, but I mean, there are more important things to worry about now. Coaster Nerd says we could be on hold until July for all we know. I just have hope. Yeah, very well could be until July. Who knows? Nobody knows at this point. Yeah, I know you weren't expecting me to be at Cedar Point because I told you specifically that I was not. You told me you were going to Cedar Point the following day, and I said I would not be there the next day. Well, guess what? I still went to Cedar Point. um, Yeah, Six Flags is extending the time for people's passes and whatnot, so that's good to hear, caring for their customers. So imagine in 15 years when all the RMCs that opened in the 2010s will be outdated and rough. I I find it really hard to see the RMCs ever being rough. I mean, obviously we got to give it time. Um I mean, New Texas Giant is, it's 9 years old at this point, and it seems like it's still butter smooth. I know it's still not that old, but RMCs are just so butter smooth, Like feels like you're just gliding. That Cedar Point visit was the day you stole my channel. uh, that's funny. CT Coaster says Wicked Cyclone is almost equal to Steel Vengeance. I'll take your word for it. I've never been on it, so I find that hard to believe, to be honest. Steel Vengeance is just so far above anything else that I've been on, but I don't know. Even other RMCs, honestly. So, oh yeah, we really need to get back on Steel Vengeance. I'll have to meet up with you at some point, and we can both ride it. That'd be awesome. So, yeah, we all miss Steve. Okay, it's like Steve, just everything is reduced in size. The airtime is just as strong. I mean, yeah, I believe that. I mean, I think that's basically how every RMC is, to be honest. Like, they all have really strong ejector airtime, and most of them are just, smaller and more compact. So I feel like, they're all pretty similar for the most part. I mean, I can definitely see that. It does look like a smaller Steel Vengeance. Even new Texas Giant kind of, is sort of similar Steel Vengeance in a way. Obviously, it doesn't have inversions. The pacing isn't as good and it's not as long, but Insane Coaster Junkie says, "How did you feel? I stole that rain ride on Ravine Flyer too." I was pretty upset about that. Yeah, Insane Coaster Junkie gets on a Ravine Flyer. It's raining. I run over to Ravine Flyer. I'm like, oh man, I got to get a rain ride on it. Um, he got on it. He gets back to the station, and I got on, his train. And I didn't get a rain ride. It stopped raining like during his ride. I'm like, what the heck? So you miss Adventure Island, like the Millennium Island, like just when it didn't have anything, like where Forbidden Frontier is now. Okay, Cedar Flag says, I've ridden Twisted Timbers in 100-degree weather and it was insane. Yeah, I rode it when it was like 80-ish, and I mean it was insane then. And he also said people say Storm Chaser is even more forceful, and I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, it's insane to think that something else might be more forceful, because it's just so wild. I mean, that airtime is so strong on that ride. So strong. The airtime on Twisted Timbers is so good. Oh my gosh. Especially those 3 back-to-back camel airtime hills. Oh my gosh. I did not watch Coaster Studios review on that yet. I did intend on watching that. I just haven't gotten to it. But I think Boardwalk Bullet looks awesome and I would love to ride it. So Goliath at Six Flags New England didn't operate all of 2018. That's not good, and they didn't even do anything to it. It just sat there. It's exactly the same as before 2018. To be honest, I don't see it at Six Flags New England for much longer. Yeah, I don't see it there much longer either. I mean, there's a reason I picked that ride. When I did my Cedar Fair or Six Flags coaster removal videos, I picked Goliath for Six Flags New England because that's just the obvious choice. I mean, it's gonna happen. So it's gonna happen next couple years, I think. I think if it sits all this year without operating, they're probably gonna remove it after this year. I agree. Twisted Timbers is very underrated, I think. I mean, it is my least favorite out of the 3 RMCs I've been on, but I've been on 3 really top-notch RMCs. So, I think it's a really underrated ride though. It's like my number 5, I think. 6. I think it's like number 6 right now. But yeah, I love Twisted Timbers. It's so good. You want strong airtime? Ride Crazy Train. Um, Somebody mentioned the name Crazy Train in like one of my recent live streams, and I looked it up, and I wasn't quite sure if they were talking about this ride. So tell me which Crazy Train you're talking about. Which Crazy Train? Where's it at? Cedar Flags, the third RMC is Lightning Rod. Yeah, I've been on Steel Vengeance, Lightning Rod, and Twisted Timbers. So Coaster Nerd says, I'm hoping to go to King's Dominion this summer, potentially if the virus passes. I want to get on my 4th Giga, 2nd RMC, and first bobsled there. Good luck to you. Oh, yeah, King's Dominion. I hate to bring this up since you just said that. Virginia just put in place their stay-at-home order, and it goes until June 10th. I swear that I am not lying. Their stay-at-home order is until June 10th. And it's either going into effect like really soon or it has gone into effect already. So Coaster Nerd says, I also have family very close to Kentucky Kingdom. We're talking about going there sometime. Want to ride Storm Chaser pretty bad. Yeah. Well, hopefully we all get to go to these parks and experience all these awesome rides at some point. Yeah, that SLC isn't going anywhere, CT. The thing about boomerangs and SLCs, they're so freaking reliable. Why are they so reliable? They last forever, what are you riding later this summer exactly? Okay, Crazy Train is in Austria. Let's see. I don't see a Crazy Train in Austria on RCDB. I looked up Crazy Train. I don't see it on here. I mean, well, there are 7 roller coasters called Crazy Train, but there's a model called Crazy Train. There's a coaster that contains the phrase, which is Harley Quinn Crazy Train. And then there are 7 roller coasters exactly called Crazy Train. But none of those are listed as being in Austria. So, yeah, I still don't know which one you're talking about. Give me like a park or something, or a model, or send a link or whatever. Coaster Nerd says that doesn't bother me too much. Our vacations are usually in August. We'll see how it plays out then. Okay, I think you'll likely be fine by August, hopefully. I would feel like it should be fine by then. I don't know. We can only hope. Coasters and things. What's up? Good to see you here. My top bucket list park I want to visit. I would say maybe Knoebels, and I am supposed to be going there 2nd week of June, along with a lot of other parks. I don't know if that's happening, but it has one. Wait, what? It has one will, the I is chaos. I don't understand. What? Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes. Yeah.
We did a thing.
What'd you do?
I put 3 holes in it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to come on here?
Yeah.
Look who it is.
Hi. I look crazy.
You don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Try not to knock down the
Well,
studio.
I'm glad to hear that you're a fan of my channel. I've watched a few of your videos, and you do good work. So, yeah. This is my wife, Haley.
Yep, coaster mommy. I'm gonna go do more piano. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Or is that gonna bother you?
No, it's fine. Just live streaming here. All right. I mean, if you think about it, Vekoma might be the best manufacturer, like Let Coaster and Formula. Also, the potential Hyperion. All of their coasters are super reliable. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call them the best coaster or the best manufacturer because of all their old coasters of the quality anyway. But yeah, they are. They do. I mean, here's the thing. Even though enthusiasts complain about Vekoma SLCs and boomerangs and how bad they are, which is very founded. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. They've made some pretty bad rides, But here's the thing, they're small footprints, very easy to just place into a park, very cheap, and they're really reliable and easy to maintain. So they are great in that regard. They're very, very reliable rides. So I can see why these parks buy them, especially smaller parks that are on a budget. I mean, they're just like the perfect ride for those kinds of places, from a business perspective, and they draw in the general public. So they're good, popular rides for general public usually. My wife is not an enthusiast, no. She does enjoy coasters, but she's not an enthusiast. I actually did a video very early on, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, where I quizzed her. I've been thinking about doing an updated version of that. So, oh, Wild Train. I know exactly what ride you're talking about now. Wild Train. Yeah. Canada Coaster fan before his channel got taken down. He had a POV of that ride, and he actually talked about it in a couple videos, and said it was crazy. Yeah, Wild Train looks insane. It's at let's see, it's Austria. It is this one right here. Yeah, and it does look pretty crazy for a kiddie coaster. Does my wife enjoy going to parks? Not really. She hasn't really been to a big park in a long time. She does have some she has some physical conditions where it makes it really hard for her to go to places like that. So, unfortunately, yeah. Got to go. This was a great stream. Thank you. Thanks for joining, CT. I'll see you later. I'm converting my girlfriend into an enthusiast. How's that working out for you? I hope it's working. That's funny. That gave me a good laugh there. Yeah, how's that working for you? Hey, while you answer that, I'm going to go get myself another drink. I'll be right back, guys, okay? I'll be right back. Give me like 30, 45 seconds. This will be a quick dispatch. I'm back. Down, 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 la 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 la. That's the way the old year passes. Fa la 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 la. I've been working on my dad for 5 years. He's still not too great. Okay, okay. If a park was going to get a T-Rex, I think it would be Kings Island. No. Kings Island will definitely not get a T-Rex for a very long time if they ever do. We haven't even seen one built yet. Kings Island does not get prototype rides. No. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to say that's a strong no. 50 seconds. Somebody was timing me. Cedar Flag, she hasn't ridden a coaster in like 5 years, but she's really interested to ride one again, which I found funny. Okay, good. She's open to it. That sounds awesome. So she wants to ride Vengeance. Yeah, that's a good one to get her back into coasters there for sure. What did I put in the drink? Well, I just got a beer. One of the ones I was drinking last night. Wurzelgrüner, the German beer. 21 and over, people. Be responsible. Michigan's Adventure 500-foot T-Rex 2021 or an RMC bathroom. RMC bathroom, that sounds fun. Yeah. Michigan's Adventure, you'd rather see them control their bees? Oh, wow. It was that bad, huh? Yeah, Cedar Flags, exactly. Kings Island gets exactly what Cedar Point does 20 years later when it comes to coaster models. Absolutely. Yep. That's I don't know if that's necessarily been like intentionally done, but it has lined up perfectly like that, for Banshee, for the invert, the hyper, and the Giga Coaster. Yeah. So, that would lead you to believe, like you said, that 2023 Kings Island is getting a strata. But to be honest, I think that's where they kind of draw the line with that pattern. Because I don't think Kings Island's getting a strata. So I don't see that. But I'll be all the more surprised and happy if it does happen. So third day you gave up and went indoors. Okay. Wait, you were at Michigan's Adventure for 3 days? Yeah, it's very interesting, the whole Cedar Point and Kings Island thing. Yeah, because you know, Raptor 94, Banshee 20 years later, 2014. Magnum was 89, Diamondback was 2009, 20 years apart. And then the Giga Coaster, Millennium Force in 2000, Orion in 2020, 20 years apart. Yeah. Yeah, Kings Island used oh yeah, Kings Island used to get prototype rides. But that was long time before Cedar Fair owned them. So that was a long time ago when Bat, King Cobra, and Screaming Demon opened. Yeah, Kings Island doesn't even have an Intamin. And that's something really interesting too that I've actually thought about. Like, it's like Kings Island, this premier amusement park, in the Cedar Fair chain does not even have one Intamin. Um, I was, well, no, Kings Dominion, I-305. Yeah, no Intamin at Kings Island, which is crazy. So, okay, first day you had 3 hours there. All right. The good old days. Yeah. Yep. The classic Kings Island days there for sure. They've lost a lot of coasters over the years. I'm not even talking about just the last couple of years, even though they have lost two, but and just in years prior, I mean, in the early 2000s, I mean, King Cobra wasn't around for that long. It closed in 2001. So, yeah, I could not imagine spending 3 days at Michigan's Adventure. That sounds like I think I'd be pretty bored of it by the third day. Probably halfway through the second day, I'd be bored, to be honest with you. I mean, it looks like a great park. I'm genuinely think it looks like a good park. I'm not trying to knock it, but it is what it is, you know. Okay, you said your friends never talk about Phoenix when they talk about Knobles. They talk about Twister and Impulse. Okay, Twister and Impulse to the general public look like much better rides. They're, Impulse is much more flashy and modern. Has the vertical lift, it's pretty crazy looking. And Twister is just really twisty and really cool looking. And it is, and it's a great ride, it looks like. But as enthusiasts, we understand like the whole aspect of like it's all about that crazy airtime, So I get it. I get it. And who knows? Whenever I get to Knobles, maybe I will like Twister better than Phoenix. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't ridden them yet. So, I mean, Phoenix looks awesome. So, I don't think it's the number one wood coaster in the world, like the golden tickets say. I think it's like a top 10 or top 15, maybe a top 10, but looks like an awesome ride for sure. Oh, yes, I would love to see another Intamin Giga like I-305. I absolutely agree. We need another ride like that, I think. We need another ride like that somewhere. Michigan's Adventure makes Valley Fair look like Cedar Point. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and Valley Fair doesn't get much investment at all by Cedar Fair, but they have gotten really solid ground up coasters, I mean, 11 years ago they got one, and that's a lot better. Michigan's Adventure, it's been 12 years since a coaster, although it was new for Michigan's Adventure, but it was a Vekoma SLC. It's a clone. They're found everywhere, and it was a hand-me-down coaster, so they didn't even invest that much into it. I feel like Valley Fair is probably going to get a coaster in like within 3 years from now. I think in the next 3 years we'll see Valley Fair get something. I just have a feeling. And even Worlds of Fun, maybe, I mean, last one for Worlds of Fun was also 2009. Yeah, yeah. Valley Fair and Worlds of Fun both in 2009 got Renegade. So, or no, Renegade was 2007, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, okay, Renegade was 2007. So it's been longer for Valley Fair than I thought by a couple of years. Lots of Wolverine Wildcat marathons. Nice. It's not that great of a park, and I'm in no hurry to return, says Coaster Nerd. Yeah, here's the thing. I really would love to go to Michigan's Adventure at some point, even just for Shivering Timbers, because it looks like a fantastic ride. But it's like a 6.5 hour drive at least from where I live. There's no other parks around there. I just cannot. I feel like it's not very justified spending a whole weekend going there. Driving 6.5 hours there just to ride a really good coaster, maybe a couple other decent ones, and then drive back all that way and not do anything else. It just, I don't know. I don't really know exactly why Schwarzkopf went out of business. I don't have a good answer for that. So I guess they just became drowned out by competition, maybe, or maybe Schwarzkopf died in the 80s. I don't know. Did he die in the 80s or was it early 90s? Let's see. Anton Schwarzkopf Oh, he died in 2001. Okay. So that's not why then. I think technically Schwarzkopf was actually around until, until like the 90s. Let's see. Legacy. Yeah, I don't know when Schwarzkopf was when that company lasted from until. So let's see. Phoenix is my favorite there, says Rings of Earth. Coaster Nerd says my dad went to Minnesota for work and drove past Valley Fair. It had already closed for the day though, so he couldn't check it out. He did go in Mall of America, which was cool. Nice. Coaster Nerd is telling me, don't get too excited about Shivering Timbers. It hurt my back really bad, and I got no airtime on either 2 times I rode it. Once close to the front and once close to the back. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah. 2000, you think they went out business? Okay. Do I think Valley Fair kind of looks like a Six Flags park since they have a super loop? No. It is the only Cedar Fair park with a super loop. As far as I know, I believe it is. But a super loop does not make a park like a Six Flags park. Although I do think Valley Fair is one of the Cedar Fair parks that could potentially actually benefit from being taken over by Six Flags. That's not going to happen. But with the current state of the industry, Six Flags is not doing well. But yeah. Tim K said something that really resonates with me. Actually, this is exactly what I've thought for a while. But he puts it really well. He said, Michigan's adventure is like a money tree to Cedar Fair, and they don't even have to water it. And boy, is that true. Michigan's adventure actually does really well for them. They make a lot of money from that park, but it's like they take that money and they funnel it into other parks that get investments because they say Michigan's adventure isn't worth the investment because of this and that. So they use the money that Michigan's adventure makes and they funnel it into other parks. So all right, good night, Chaos. Good night. Good night seeing good seeing you here. Cedar Flag says I might make a pit stop at Knoebels just to ride Phoenix and leave. Oh, why did you gotta just ride Phoenix, man? Ride Twister too. At least ride Twister. Maybe even fly in turns. Like on a trip or something, like you just have some limited time and just want to stop by real quick or something. Coaster Nerd says Michigan's Adventure is a decent sized park with a good location and greater potential. It's time for Cedar Fair to feed the baby as opposed to the 2 big kids. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you on that. I think that I mean, I understand from a business perspective why they don't want to invest much into Michigan's Adventure, but they need to give it something. I mean, just like just give them something every 7 or 8 years, like even if it's just a major a good sized flat ride, a thrilling flat ride. It doesn't even have to be a coaster. um you know Give them a coaster like once every 10 years, and I think people will be pretty happy with that. and a good thrilling flat ride once every 7 or 8 years, or something like that. Light investment that would really do good for that park. And maybe they could even make more money if they put more investment into it. I know it does draw mostly a local crowd, so maybe it wouldn't do that well. And that's probably, I'm sure that's one of the reasons they're not investing into it. But I think they would make a little bit more money if they actually did give it some decent investment. Um, they're going to have to add something to it eventually. They can't just go forever without adding anything. They're going to have to give them something eventually, I think. Like 5 years from now, they're going to have to add something to that park. I go to Knoebels at least once a year since it's not that far from me. That's awesome. Good park to have. Lots of history and lots of classic attractions there. So Tim K says, to be fair, they maintain and add to the water park and kiddie and family attractions. They know full well once the teens are old enough to drive, they're heading to Cedar Point. Enthusiasts just don't see it. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Tim. And I mean, I do realize that. And the thing is, like I said, Michigan's Adventure, they're drawing from a local crowd. And like I said, they're well aware of that. That's why they don't invest into it. It's a local crowd, lots of families. And the thing is with, like, especially water park editions, water parks are very popular, and you can add really good water park editions for much cheaper than getting a big ride or something. Much better return on investment, because water parks do really well for a lot of these parks, especially the smaller parks. So, like you said, they're investing more into the water park and kiddie stuff and family attractions, and they're probably getting much more money back on that kind of stuff, a much bigger percentage. So, and yeah, enthusiasts a lot of times just don't stop to think about the logical side of things like that. So I do think they need something, don't get me wrong. I think they're still very neglected, but um when they even get a roller coaster last, 97 or 98? It was 2008 when Michigan's Adventure got Thunderhawk in 2008, which was a relocation from Geauga Lake. The last ground up coaster they got was 99 with Shivering Timbers. So do I think Wolverine Wildcat could be RMC'd? It's rough and RMC is cheap. I don't think it's going to happen. I did talk about it as a potential candidate for a future RMC in my video I did several months back. I don't think it'll actually happen, though, at least not for a very, very long time. A campground at Michigan's Adventure, that could be a good business move there. I'm kind of surprised they don't have one already, honestly. That would actually be really good for that park. See, Rings of Earth. The last time I went to Knoebels last year, my friends went with me. The same friends that talk about Impulse and Twister more. Okay. And that's fine. If you like a certain ride better, not everybody's an enthusiast. Not everybody has to like Insane Ejector Air more than anything else in the world. That's completely fine. It's sad how many times I went on their kiddie coasters just because of how much fun they were in comparison to the rest of the park. He says, oh, that was '08. Thought Thunderhawk was the late 90s. Nope. Thunderhawk was 2008. It came from Geauga Lake. Either way, 12 years is long enough, and 21 for a ground up is even worse. Yeah, it's pretty bad. For a park that is a corporate park owned by a big chain, it is pretty sad. Yeah. Like I was saying though, and like Tim K brought up, it's there are sound business decisions I think that do go into it. But I think at some point that park has to get something major again. My sister is about a year older than me. She's not an enthusiast. Okay. What Woody do I think will win the Golden Ticket Award this year? Probably Phoenix again. It won the last 2 years. Probably Phoenix. I don't know. I'm sorry, it's not the best. It can't be the best wooden coaster in the world. It looks fantastic. It looks like an amazing ride. I think it's probably a top 10 wood coaster. If not top 10, top 15 at least. But I mean, number one, you got El Toro, Voyage, Lightning Rod, all these fantastic rides, Wildfire. Oh my gosh. So many awesome wooden coasters. Most overrated ride on Earth, probably El Toro is an hour away. Yeah, I think it does probably get pretty overrated. I mean, I'm judging it without riding it. I probably shouldn't be so strong on that, but I'm just saying what I think it's probably going to be like. I think it'll be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that airtime. Okay, Tim says Voyage is better than Phoenix. I mean, I see that too. Yeah. I mean, I think Voyage absolutely looks a lot better than Phoenix. I mean, it's like one of the most intense rides out there. Voyage is a wild ride. Airtime isn't real strong, but I mean, the length and the speed and the pacing and everything else is just perfect. The Voyage is a true journey for sure. Yeah, I mean, Cedar Point, never goes too long without a coaster. Like you said, the longest was 7 years. 7 years between well, no, that was 6 years between Maverick and Gatekeeper, but yeah. You're riding Voyage later this year? Nice. I was hoping to get out there, possibly for Hollywood Nights. Pretty sure that's not happening now. I wouldn't count on it anyway. It hasn't been confirmed yet. But. Yeah, it won Golden Ticket Award for Best Wooden Coaster before El Toro did, but oh yeah, Cedar Creek, Myra, and Corkscrew, that was 7 years. I mean, that was way back in, older Cedar Point times. So, that was more normal back then. So, who do I think is more to blame for the downfall of Geauga Lake, Six Flags, or Cedar Fair? Six Flags, I think. Um, Cedar Fair, I mean, I don't really agree with how they handled it. I think more could have been done with that park. They just kind of let it waste away. Because I actually did visit in 2005 and 2007 many times. And there were a lot of areas of that park that were just really run down looking, where they just had closed rides just sitting there. So it did look pretty run down. They could have done more with that park. They didn't put a whole lot of love into it, to be honest with you. I think Six Flags is more to blame, though. Cedar Fair was just the final nail in the coffin, unfortunately. So, yeah, Cedar Fair says it was Six Flags' fault. Yeah, they were definitely like the driving force for the downfall of that park, which is crazy. I mean, they pumped. Oh my gosh, Six Flags went freaking nuts. They pumped so much money into that park in the year 2000. I mean, holy crap. 4 coasters, and then the next year they got another major coaster. And then 6 years later, everything was down the drain. That's all it took. 6 years. They got 5 brand new coasters. They built up this whole park. They made it this whole theme park and added all these new shows, and it was the biggest amusement park in the world. And in 6 years, it was all gone. Everything was gone. Well, the water park was still there for a while, but you know what I mean. 8 years between Iron Dragon and No, there was only 2 years between those rides. Iron Dragon 87, Magnum 89. Yeah, you're right, Cedar Flags. We're never gonna see another year like 2000 for the coaster industry. 2000 and 2001 were both just out the wazoo with coasters. But that's probably for the better. I think that we don't see a year like that, because that's how Six Flags got into a lot of debt and ran into a lot of trouble later on. So, and ruined Geauga Lake. So, Tim K says Six Flags overdeveloped to compete with Cedar Point, then realized they couldn't, so they sold it to them, and Cedar Fair systematically dismantled it. That's exactly what happened. And I believe that Cedar Fair knew when they bought Geauga Lake. I think they realized very shortly soon after that they were going to close it. It started at least back in 2006 when X-Flight was removed and it got moved to Kings Island. I mean, they were getting ready for that. I mean, and like I said, a lot of things were left just sitting there. There's a reason they weren't putting work into that park. They knew what was going to happen. If you watch the news announcements for that very sad day back in October of 2007, when it was announced that Geauga Lake would be closing forever, they say on those news clips that, the lady from one of the ladies from higher up in Cedar Fair is like, we went into a meeting this morning and we just decided that, blah, blah, blah wasn't there to support the infrastructure for the park as it currently is. So we decided this morning that we're going to close down. They did not decide they were going to close Geauga Lake that morning. That's a whole load of BS right there. They knew. I gotta restrain myself a little bit. They knew well in advance what they were doing. They knew Geauga Lake was going to close well ahead of that morning in 2007. They might have made a final decision, a final decision that morning. But they knew way ahead of time, well ahead of that they were going to close that park. I'm sorry. That was a low. That just like whenever I heard that, I'm like, are you serious? They did not just make this decision this morning. That's a load of BS. I'll just stop there. I'm gonna stop with my rant. Do I miss the defunct Geauga Lake coasters, Double Loop, Villain, Raging Wolf Bob's X-Flight, and Big Dipper? Did you ride any of those? So when I went to Geauga Lake, they had 10 coasters. Well, for the 2005 season, when I went in 2007, they only had 9 because X-Flight was already removed. But anyway, out of those 10 coasters, I rode 6 of them at the time. I was too intimidated to ride Boomerang. Well, it wasn't called Boomerang, but I was too intimidated to ride their Boomerang, to ride Thunderhawk, and their Impulse coaster, as well as X-Flight. X-Flight, I'll never get to ride. I sorely missed out on that credit. I had so many opportunities to ride that. I went to Kings Island once in 2007, didn't have time to ride it, so I never got that credit. I did get to ride the Boomerang at Carowinds last year, so I have that credit now. I'm supposed to be going to Dorney Park this year, so I could ride Possess there, which was at Geauga Lake. And I would like to get to Michigan's Adventure at some point, to ride Thunderhawk. But I rode 6 of the coasters there. And, to answer your question, I do miss all of those coasters. I did not like all of those coasters, but I miss all of them simply because they're gone because Geauga Lake's not here anymore. So I wish I could go back to Geauga Lake, even if I could only ride one of those terrible coasters, I miss all of them. But I did ride Double Loop, I rode Villain, I rode Raging Wolf Bobs, and Big Dipper. I loved Big Dipper. At the time, Big Dipper was my favorite ride in the park. If I went today, I would say Dominator. I love, love, love Dominator. I got to re-ride that last year at King's Dominion. Awesome, intense, really, really good ride. Really underrated in my opinion. But Double Loop, just a standard arrow looping, small arrow, basic looping coaster. Nothing special. It was all right. Villain, I found to be very, very rough. It was really unfortunate because it had such an awesome, awesome layout, but it was so uncomfortable. Had a lot of potential, though. I think if Cedar Fair still had this park running, they would have GCI come in and retrack it, and it would be amazing. Really, really unfortunate that that ride bit the dust. Raging Wolf Bob's one of the absolute worst roller coasters I've ever been on. Like the second or third worst that I've ever ridden. Terrible ride. It would have either got torn down eventually, but I think it would have made an awesome base for a small, compact RMC. And it would have made an awesome ride. Something along the lines of like Wicked Cyclone. Raging Wolf Bob's would have been a really awesome RMC. Big Dipper was awesome, obviously. I rode that all the time, had awesome airtime. Really good ride. So there's your answer to that. Cedar Flag says, Geauga Lake was a small, cute family park before Six Flags bought it. I feel like if Six Flags never bought it, it would still be open, but be a lot smaller than the one we remember today. Absolutely. I agree with that. It was just a small family park. Just a couple coasters, nothing major. Just Big Dipper was their main attraction. It was a totally different thing before Six Flags bought it, Really unfortunate. Coaster Nerd says, "Oh, I know what I did. It was 8 between Woodstock Express." Okay. I would have only been 1 year old and never got to visit Geauga Lake, but I did go to Wild Water Kingdom a few times in 2016. Its final year, it was a great water park, and yeah, it was a good water park. That's the only reason one of the only reasons I do get kind of conflicted sometimes on. I think initially, Cedar Fair probably did plan on trying to keep Geauga Lake open just because right after they got the park, they put tons of money into that water park. I mean, they made that whole water park and they even added some more to it. So I do think that initially they did want to keep Geauga Lake open, but it didn't work out. So they decided just to close it completely. And they had just spent all that money on the water park. And I think that's the only reason they kept that half of the park open for as long as they did. Just my thoughts, though. Rings of Earth says, I have ridden 2 coasters from Geauga Lake, Steel Venom, which is possessed at Dorney Park, and Dominator at King's Dominion. Nice, nice. Okay. Coaster Nerd says, I got Firehawk, Flying Cobras, and Thunderhawk. Very cool. Didn't know the last 2 were relocations until you mentioned them. Well, I taught you something new then. You're welcome. Did I know the Geauga Lake Boomerang was called Mighty Right? Yes, I did know that. Yeah. I couldn't think of the name at the time, but yeah, I knew that. I went to the park several times and I saw Mind Eraser there. Thunderhawk was still called Thunderhawk. Dominator was still called Dominator. And Possessed was Steel Venom. So, and Possessed, after it went to Dorney Park for the first year it was at Dorney Park, was actually called Voodoo, if you guys don't know that. It's called Voodoo for 1 year at Dorney, and then it was changed to Steel Venom. Cedar Flag says, I went once in 2011. Oh, you went to the water park in 2011, Wild Water Kingdom? Coaster Nerd says, many memories made at Wild Water Kingdom actually got me into Bon Jovi because they've always played You Give Love a Bad Name, along with many other moments. All right, nice. Hey, how's it going, Brandon? Good to have you in here. We're talking about Geauga Lake right now. Would you like to share some of your Geauga Lake memories? Because Brandon, I know you've been to Geauga Lake. Somebody, a couple people were asking questions about Geauga Lake or whatever, and I was discussing, the downfall of the park, and we're discussing Wild Water Kingdom now. It was open until 2016. Um, yeah, it's been very long. It's been a long, long time. Um, but I think a lot of us have great memories there. It wasn't the best park, it could have been ran a lot better, but we were talking about though how we think Six Flags was like the ultimate reason that park failed because they just destroyed the park basically. Um, and then Cedar Fair was just the final nail in the coffin. So, let's see. Tim K says, I think I rode Raging Wolf Bobs about 3 times and it's nearly 20 years. So bad. I wanted to like it so bad, but when they were building it, looked like it would be so much fun. Yeah, and I saw a video from the media day just last year or a couple years ago from the media day from 88 when Raging Wolf Bobs opened. And all the enthusiasts, riding it seemed like they were kind of excited for it maybe. But I wondered how good it actually was because I don't know, it was just kind of long and drawn out. I know it was based on the Riverview Bobs, which was always looked at as like a fantastic coaster back in the day. It was based on that ride, but it didn't live up to that legacy. So Gary T says I went to Geauga Lake when Premier Parks owned Geauga Lake, or it might be Fun Time. Okay, but you were there like in the mid to late '90s before the huge expansion took over the park. That's kind of cool. So Gary, let me ask you, when you went to Geauga Lake, what honestly, in your honest opinion, what did you think about it when it was owned by Premier or Funtime? Whichever one it was. What did you think about the park when you went there? Because it wasn't the huge, destination that Six Flags tried to turn it into, which ultimately failed. So what did you think about the park? Because it was just a small family park at that time, and they had when you went, they had probably just added, a couple, like probably added the boomerang and maybe the SLC at that point, Thunderhawk. Yeah. The boomerang was called Headspin. Yeah, it was called Mind Eraser under Six Flags management. And then when Cedar Fair took over, it was called Headspin. A lot of the names that Cedar Fair gave the rides weren't really rebrandings. Somebody said that they kind of saw it as debranding, which I thought was a really good point. You know, not that Mind Eraser really was like a brand or anything, but uh, yeah, I would have liked to have visited it before, actually before it was a big major destination. I mean, I would have liked to have visited it during, all of the different eras just to see the comparisons. Very thankful that I got to visit on many occasions though in the '05 and '07 seasons. So, I was there at least 5 times, I believe. So, Tim remembers when Geauga Lake was just Corkscrew, Double Loop, and Big Dipper. Yeah. I always thought that was interesting how for a decent amount of time they actually had an arrow corkscrew model and an arrow, double looping model. That was kind of interesting, It's like two slight variations of like pretty much the same coaster model. I guess it's kind of technically like, like Behemoth and Leviathan in the same park, and Fury and Intimidator. I don't know. Do I miss the Batman theming on Dominator? I mean, it would have been cool to see it with the Batman theming. Um, I'm sure it wasn't elaborate theming though, being Six Flags. But I never actually got to see it, as Batman Night Flight. Now, I think Batman Night Flight was a sick name. That's a really cool name actually for Dominator. Um, but never actually, I never visited when it was a Six Flags park. When I went for the first time in '05, Cedar Fair had acquired the park the year before. So, Gary says it reminded me of he's talking about Geauga Lake, by the way. When he visited Geauga Lake, it reminded him of a small family park like Dorney or Knoebels. I rode Big Dipper and Villain and their Arrow. Okay, so double loop. All right. Okay, so if you were there when Villain was there, it was already Six Flags Park then. It was maybe you went during like the first year of the Six Flags brand of the park, Six Flags Ohio. Also, what if Six Flags closed Geauga Lake? Where do you think the coasters would have ended up at? That's really interesting to think about. Okay, if if um if Six Flags had closed Geauga Lake instead of Cedar Fair closing it, the coasters, um, huh? I think Beaverland Mine Ride could have ended up at who knows anywhere really. Big Dipper would have been scrapped as it was anyway. I think Dominator would have been relocated to probably Magic Mountain because they didn't have Scream at the time, I believe, right? No, they did. Did they have Scream? Now I gotta look that up. Hold on. Be patient with me, guys. Um, Scream opened at Magic Mountain in 2000. Oh, okay, they already had Scream. They wouldn't have moved a Dominator there. Okay, so oh yeah, they owned the Wallaby parks at the time. Yeah. So they probably would have sent Dominator to like a Wallaby park. Um Headspin, their boomerang probably would have went to, if the Wallaby parks didn't have a boomerang, to one of those, or I don't know, who knows. Raging Wolf Bob's would have been torn down as it was. Steel Venom would have been sent to, maybe that would have been sent to Magic Mountain. Maybe Steel Venom would have been sent either to Magic Mountain or maybe like Great Adventure, since that's not too far away from there, possibly even Darien Lake. One of those parks. Thunderhawk. What Six Flags park didn't have an SLC? Thunderhawk probably would have went to maybe Six Flags Mexico or one of the Wallaby parks. Let's see. Six Flags Mexico has looks like they don't have an SLC. Or no, they do have an SLC. Never mind. Wouldn't have went there. Um Villain Villain probably would have just been scrapped as it was. X-Flight, okay, X-Flight I think would have went. Let's see, X-Flight could have went to Great Adventure maybe? I don't know. I'm probably not the best to answer that since I'm not too familiar with all the Six Flags parks, But it's kind of cool to think about that. It's kind of interesting. Astro World. Oh man. Astro World looked like a really cool park. That's a shame how that all played out. That was such a tragic loss. It's like, Six Flags old CEO, it's like, let's sell this park so we can make, all this money off of the land. And then they only made like half as much as they thought they would. And it was just a waste. It was a waste. I believe that CEO was fired because of that. Yeah. Yikes. Oh, X Flight to Astroworld. Okay. But Astroworld closed in 2005 though. So, yeah, Astroworld closed in 2005. After Astroworld, maybe Six Flags Over Texas or Six Flags Fiesta Texas maybe, cuz those were, the closest Six Flags parks to Astroworld. Man, it's only 12:07. Night's just getting started. Okay, it was Gary. You said you went in 99. You saw Big Dipper from SeaWorld in Aurora. Okay. Now, see, here's the thing, though. You said you rode Villain. If you absolutely did ride Villain, that didn't open till 2000. Unless you visited both, during both Six Flags and during like the pre Six Flags days. Uh, I know for a fact Villain opened in 2000. So Astroworld was the park that shared the parking lot with the former Astrodome Cortex, right? Yes, it was. That is the park, yeah. Correct. I was like, Cortex? Yeah. Says Knight's just getting started. Has a big yawn. Yeah, very much a shame for sure. Especially the way it played out with Six Flags. Oh, man, what a disaster. Oh, that did not need to happen at all. There was no good reason for that, just to make a quick buck. And they only made half as much as they thought they would. Oh, what a disaster. It hurts to think about that. Oh, okay. So you went 2 years. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear your perspective on it. And you can tell us how it was as you experienced it. Like before and after. So in case anybody didn't hear earlier, in case there's anybody different here that didn't hear this, the channel on YouTube called the Theme Park ERT. It's a fairly new channel. Go check out Theme Park ERT and support the channel. But I was featured on episode 3 of a podcast that they upload to YouTube, which is called the Enthusiast Roundtable. So go check out Theme Park ERT. Listen to the episode that dropped today that features me in it. Also has Alec from OVC and Coaster Studios and Nick from Ace. And it's just fun. We just talk about coasters. It's like 50 minutes long. So go check it out for sure. All right, Cedar Flags, thank you for joining me. It was really good seeing you in here. And no problem. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, absolutely. We'll have to talk some more and hopefully get together at Cedar Point at some point this year. Thank you for joining though. It was good seeing you in here. And I will watch your new video right after this. So but yeah, I'm actually going to get going right now too, guys. We've been going for close to 2 hours, and this has been a lot of fun. You guys had some good questions, and we had good discussion about lots of different things. So um, it's been fun seeing all you guys again, and I'll I have some new videos that I am working on. One that's coming out in a couple days, and also another one that's coming out like sometime in a couple days. I have a couple that I'm working on right now. Um, the one is something a little different, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Um, I've been trying a lot of new things. So yeah, it gives you an excuse to go to bed. All right. Yeah, no problem. Yeet. That's right. Yeet you out of here. Okay. I'll see you guys later. All right. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. Um, Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys.